Hey everyone, it's Warriors NRL Fanatics. Welcome back to the YouTube channel. I hope you're all doing well on this Monday afternoon and evening. If you are a new viewer to the YouTube channel, you haven't done so already, please make sure you don't forget to like the video, make sure you like the live stream, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And hope everyone's doing well. Hope everyone's doing well on this Tuesday afternoon. Guys, it is been a while since I've last done a live stream or a video. So yeah, if you're out there and you haven't done so, please give us a live stream and make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video as well. And this is going to be just a Q&A. So if you got any questions or comments that you want to ask me, put them into the chat. At the moment, I see I haven't got too many viewers, but if we get any viewers, just wait for some viewers to join. But hello to Rubit. Hello to Rubit up the wires. How's it going, Rubit? Hope you're doing well. So so I'm just gonna come on for it. Just come on. Didn't originally plan to do a stream today, but thought why not jump on. Haven't been on in a while. Haven't done a video. Haven't done a live stream in a while. So this stream, if you guys are wondering, it's just a chat about the NRL. So just talk about the footy games across the weekend. Give my overall thoughts on how I think the season's going. Obviously, as a Wales fan, the season's completely over, so there's not really much to talk and discuss with regards to the Warriors. Unfortunately, in this season, it's not been great, but we played. Well, I thought we played well against Manly last week, albeit we just weren't able to come away with the result. It was just look. I think Manly, obviously playing for a lot, being at home, we put in a great showing, but we weren't good enough in the end to get the result or to get the win there. Hello to Jeffrey in the chat. How's it going, Jeffrey? But yeah, guys, please like the live stream if you haven't done so already. Liking the live stream shows your support for the content. And share the live stream, subscribe to the channel. It all helps the algorithm. And it's absolutely free as well. So subscribing, liking, and sharing is all really much appreciated. And if you got any questions, feel free to put them into the live chat. Any NRL related questions regards to the round of footy, any Warriors related questions, feel free to put them into the live YouTube chat as we go along. But yeah, look, I'm gonna go through your comments and go through the some of the questions. As I haven't been on here for a while now, actually haven't done a video and a live stream in a while, so NRL last weekend. I'll just go through some of the results, give my overall thoughts. So Thursday night, 15th of August, saw the Penrith Panthers taking on the Melbourne Storm, and the Melbourne Storm won 24 points to 22. I thought it was billed as one of the games of the round, and I thought it really did live up to the expectations. Nathan Cleary, obviously, coming off with a bit of a shoulder injury. Now the news is out that he is going to be still available for the finals, so that's good news for the Panthers. Unfortunately, coming off with an injury, but he will be missing for the next couple of weeks. The Melbourne Storm, look, I thought the Melbourne Storm did very well, albeit they, coming up against the Penrith side down there in Penrith, and they put on a great showing. And I thought this game, was a great way to start the round, especially in Penrith going down 22 to 24. Melbourne, I thought, were very strong defensively as well to get this result. And it was a good win for the Melbourne Storm down there in Penrith. Pretty much for me, it seals their spot as the minor premiers for 2024, and I think that puts Penrith out of the reckoning for the minor premiership, or unless Melbourne drops some games, and unless Penrith can go on a winning run themselves to jump the Storm on the top of the ladder. But look, I don't think Penrith will be fussed about losing the minor premiership. I think, if you're Melbourne, you're happy to win the minor premiership. I don't think it's much of a advantage finishing top, to be honest. I think it only matters in the finals, but yeah, like Melbourne, they've had a good season. They've come into some great form, and the Panthers, well, still not bad, not too bit of a disappointing result for them, albeit. But yeah, it was a great game. I thought it was a great game for the Storm, especially against Penrith down there in Penrith. So so Rupert's saying here next year's our year. Well, hopefully so, Rupert. Hopefully so. With Fisher Harris coming to the club next year, I'm sure we are going to be missing the likes of Fanua Blake, who's off to the Sharks, which is a big blow, and of course Sean Johnson retiring, which will be playing his final home game this weekend against the Dogs on Friday. I think Friday night. So it should be real emotional scenes when Sean Johnson runs out for the final time at Go Media Stadium. But hey, I'm looking forward to that game. Albeit, it'll be cool to see the Warriors send them out on a high, get a win for SJ in this final home game in New Zealand at Mount Smart Stadium. I'm sure it'll be a good crowd there as well. So yeah, Jason Reader, hello to Jason Reader saying up the Roosters. Hopefully we can finish in the top two, make the grand final. And they definitely are a good chance of making the top two if Penrith drop a few results. And of course, if the Roosters win their next few games, they could seal a top two finish as well. And William Pearson says Manly Seagulls haven't beaten the West Tigers at Leichhardt Oval since 2007. Oh, that's a great stat. It's a good stat to know. But look, I think Manly will probably win that game anyways. But yeah, moving on. So Friday saw the Warriors, of course, taking on the Seagulls, and the Manly Seagulls 24 points to 10. Like I said there, look, the Warriors very brave. Manly staff pretty decently well. Of course, got to trust Sean Johnson, Darling Watini, Lesniak there. But yeah, look, like I've said for a number of weeks, the season's been over for a number of weeks now. So these games that the Warriors play for the next couple of weeks don't absolutely mean anything, to be honest. We're just playing for a bit of pride in the jersey. So, I know goal kicking is a big talking point for the Warriors this year in a lot of our close games, which we've lost. It's played a part, definitely for sure. But it's not the reason why we've lost every game. Well, we lost a lot of our games this year. So, we've been in games this season, but there's so many things that have really affected the Warriors, especially injuries wise. No, definitely not helped. Things haven't really clicked for the Warriors in 2024. Combinations have not been there. The game plan's not quite been executed on the field. So there's so many different things. If you look at the Warriors, so many question marks and why it hasn't really gone to plan in 2024 for the Wars after a great 2023. So, yeah. William Pearson is saying here that Luke Brooks up against the former club for the first time. Yeah. And Jason Reed saying, do you think the Warriors can make the top 8 next season? Well, I'm hoping so, Jason Reed. I really hope so. But, yeah, it all depends on a number of things, right? Whether we, combinations, gel, injuries, all sorts of stuff. But I am hoping for the Warriors to be back in finals in 2025 because, like I said at the start of the year, if we didn't make the finals, I would consider the season a failure, in my opinion. To go through from top 8, top 4 to bottom 4 is a very disappointing season. And there's no excuses for the season for the Warriors. But, yeah, look, tough, really tough seasons. It's been a really difficult year for the Warriors, especially. But yeah, look, Manly, it was a good win for them. As for the Roosters and the Eels, look, I think as expected, the Roosters too strong for the Eels there, 38 points to 14. Look, a great performance by the Roosters, all expected. Look, the Eels put on a bit of a good showing there at the start, but the Roosters just too strong. Very good performance by them. So he tries to Spencer Leonard, Dominic Young, and Daniel Tupou. Tedesco also scoring a try as well. Dominic Young scoring 2 tries. So, yeah, the Roosters just, as expected, you come up against a team like the Eels who are having a very poor season like the Warriors are. New coach next year, so don't expect a lot from the likes of your Eels and Warriors and that over the rest of the next couple of weeks, because their minds are on 2025. But yeah, look, Eels, not much really can say about them this year. It's been a bit of a disappointing season for them. Like them and like us, of course. Which both teams will be hoping for better things next year. So, and then we go on to the Bulldogs and the Dolphins. I thought it was pretty good, close game throughout. But the Bulldogs themselves blew this game open in the second half. The game was played at Bundaberg there in Queensland, and the Bulldogs won that 30 points to 10 over the Dolphins. So, look, I've got to say the Bulldogs are looking like a good chance of potentially making the top four. As for the Dolphins, this is a big blow to their top 8 hopes, of course, because they need to keep winning to make the 8 over the next couple of weeks. But they've got some tough games, the Dolphins. Of course, they had a win against the Warriors a couple of weeks ago against our boys, but only just escaping that game with a 1-point win. Actually, it was a 2-point win because it was a 2-point field goal there. But, man, the Dolphins, look, in their second season, regardless, I think it's still a pretty decent season, even if they don't make the finals. So, as for the Dogs have had a great season. They're doing what we're doing last year, shocking everyone, being in that top 5, potentially making the top 4. So, yeah, it's the Dogs remind me of what we did in 2023 when we made that run to the preliminary finals. And if you look at the reaction of their fans are loving it at the moment. You can see the support they're getting. It feels like the Dogs are, in a good position right now to do something in the finals. But I'm not too sure if they will. But they've got some great forwards as well. And, they've got a good young mixture of players as well on the side. Of course, got Josh Curran, a former Warrior player, as well. The outside backs are quite exciting to watch. The very interesting thing is that Serraldo is probably going to be the coach of the year. I think he's definitely got to be up there as coach of the year for the Dogs this year. In the NRL, Dally M coach of the year. I think it's between him and Shane Flanagan from the Dragons. Look, I think right now I'll probably give it to Cam Serraldo. I think he should get the coach of the year for the Dally M coach of the year this year. But hello to Jason Hutt in the chat. The Dogs forwards need consistency. They definitely do. And I think that's the problem. Probably the one thing you may question with the Dogs is, do they have the depth-wise to do something in the finals? Because they've had a few injuries. They've had a few suspensions this year. Yes, they're getting the results, but what happens if they get more injuries in the finals? Can they take it up another level against the top sides? Like the Penriths, the Storms, the Roosters. And look, I think that's a big question mark for me. I don't know if they be able to. They potentially, I think, could be a team that could get to week 2 of the finals at best. Whether they go any further, I'm not too sure. But regardless, I think this has been a good year for the Dogs, and they're trending in the right direction. Moving into the future, I think not just this year and the next couple of years. Regardless of what happens for the rest of the year for the Bulldogs. But good result for the Dogs. The Dolphins are under a bit of pressure over the next couple of weeks to get results, especially if they can, try and make the finals. And the other game was the Cowboys taking on the Raiders. The Cowboys 42-4. Cowboys. This was a game I tipped the Cowboys to win, and I thought they would actually win quite well, and they did, 42 points to 4. A very convincing win for the Cowboys. Look, we got to say this is probably their best defensive performance in probably this season. They only conceded 1 try, 4 points. We haven't seen this from the Cowboys this season, where in games Their attack has been good, but their defence has been a bit of a letdown. So they're going to have to make sure that their defence is pretty right if they are going to do something in the finals, in my opinion. So, yeah, look, very strong performance by the Cowboys there. Valentine Holmes there actually scored 2 tries. Actually, no, he scored 3 tries. Correct me there, or correct you there, but he scored 3 tries, and he's off to the Dragons next season as well. So, yeah, quite interesting to see how the Cowboys go over the next couple of weeks. You'd think now that they're pretty much locked in their finals spot now with this win over the Raiders. I think the Raiders are gone. I think you can put a red pen through the Raiders. I know they're 10th, but and there's still a slight chance, but I'm actually going to put a pen through them now over because I just don't think they have enough to get into the finals, in my opinion. So, yeah, Jason's saying it's scrap for 4th place will be interesting. Sharks, Cowboys, and the late runs, the Bulldogs. Yeah, and Jason's also saying not sure about Manly. Yeah, which I will talk about soon with the ladder as well and how I think it's going to go. But guys, make sure you like the live stream if you haven't done so already. Please give the live stream a like. Click the thumbs up button. And yeah, if you are a new viewer, please don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. Subscribing is absolutely free. Helps the algorithm. Helps the channel as well. So please like, share, and subscribe for all your support. It helps the channel. So yeah, good win by the Cowboys here. This other game I didn't watch. Actually, I watched the highlights of this game, the Tigers and the Rabbitohs. I didn't watch this game live. Yeah, look, the Tigers. Look, I think with the Tigers, this was a game where maybe they could potentially win. It was 18 points to 6. It was a very close game. There was a call towards the end of this game where I think it was a forward pass they ruled on a Rabbitohs try that the coaching staff, the Rabbitohs were celebrating, thought they won the game in the last seconds. And yeah, the referee rightly calling a forward pass there. I think it was a forward pass with an obstruction. But yeah, look, I think it was the correct call in the end. And the Tigers, man, that's a good win for the Tigers at Campbelltown Stadium in Sydney. And look, the Tigers, obviously been a tricky season for Benji Marshall in his first year as coach. But look, I think if you got to look at those young players we've got for the future, I think the Tigers could, in the next couple of years could be a lot better. And don't forget, they've got Jerome Lloyd coming in 2025 as well. So I think the Tigers will be a lot better over the next couple of years. And I know the Tigers fans are sick of waiting for, success and being back in the finals. I know how hard it is because Tigers fans, as a Warriors fans, we know how hard, going through the motions of the lows, especially. So I think the Tigers, maybe a couple of years ago, I think Benji needs to be given a lot more time. And I think the Tigers will, over the next couple of years, who knows, if they can get a much better squad together, build a bit of depth there, then who knows, maybe a potential chance for the Tigers to return to finals in the coming years. But at the moment, it looks, like unlikely right now that it all turns so quickly. So, yeah, good win by the Tigers. And then Sunday, saw 2 games. So you saw the Dragons and the Gold Coast Titans. Now, again, another game I didn't watch live. I saw the highlights of this one. Look, from what I saw, this was probably a game where I expected this to be a lot closer. Kieran Foran's 300th game. Yeah, look, the Titans didn't too badly at the start, but the Dragons, definitely ran away with this one, 32 points to 16. Yeah, look, congratulations to Kieran Foran. A massive shout out to Kieran Foran on reaching that 300 NRL game milestone. Awesome to see that. Former Warrior as well. He played for the Warriors, of course. Started his career out at Manly as well. So a big shout out to Kieran Foran as well. And he's a good Kiwi player as well. So a big shout out to Kieran Foran. He's had a few injuries over the years, but Kieran Foran, man, he's a good player, and he's deserving of that 300 milestone, in my opinion. But the Dragons winning this game was a big result for them because that keeps them in the top 8, keeps them in 8th spot, and with the result of the Dolphins earlier on Saturday, it also helped them in terms of staying 8th on the ladder. So yeah, big result for the Dragons. massive result. Now, I didn't expect the Dragons to do this well this year. I didn't expect them to be in the finals contention. I had them near the bottom half of the ladder, but they're proving me wrong and a lot of people wrong. So Shane Flanagan probably deserves a bit of credit for getting the Dragons potentially to finish in that top 8 spot. Ben Hunt as well playing some great footy, and look, be good to see the Dragons in the finals if they do make it. So well done to the Dragons. And of course, the Sharks versus the Knights. And again, I thought this game was probably one of the games of the rounds as well. The Sharks and the Knights was a huge game. Very important game for the Sharks. They need to win this game to, keep the Bulldogs away from their top 4 spot. As for the Knights, they need to win this to keep their finals hopes alive. And the Sharks managed to escape with a 1-point victory, 19 points to 8. The Sharks got off to a very good start, leading 10-0. The Knights fought back to get in front and lead the game. We had KP play a part with one of the tries for the Knights there. But in that second half, it looked like the Knights were on their way to getting a victory and keeping their season alive. And, it looked like the Sharks, weren't there in the second half. Their performance sort of dropped off at the back end of that first half. But look, I think the Knights, maybe could feel like they were a little bit hard done by with some of the calls and officiating in the game, because I feel like some of the calls definitely favoured the Sharks. And the Sharks getting away with it, Atkinson kicking that field goal, and the Sharks, look, the Bulldogs fans, the Manly fans, would have been hoping for the Knights to win, to help themselves out in terms of results for the top 4 spot. But the Sharks win that game and get the result in the end. So just go through your comments. So guys, if you got any questions, NRL questions related, Warriors related questions, feel free to put them in the chat, and I will answer them as I go along. It's just for those of you just tuning in, I'm just recapping a lot of the NRL games from round 24, and giving my overall thoughts on how the games went as well. But and also I'll give my predictions who I think will finish in that final 8 spot on the ladder. So, GT, hello to GT saying here, looking forward to the rebuilding phase for next year. A lot of young talent coming through the ranks. Yeah, absolutely, GT. We definitely got some good young talent, the likes of Haliasima, Laban, to name a few. You got Harry Durbin as well. So many good names coming through. Tennis Dale Smith, all these young players that the Warriors have. So, hopefully next year is a lot better. And also, just going through another comment, I think I just read that comment. Just getting interesting with clear shoulder, big question marks, puts the Storm ahead with depth. Yeah, they definitely does put them ahead of depth, Jason. I do agree with you on that one. And look, the Storm, we've got to remember that throughout the season, they haven't been at full strength throughout the year, throughout this year, and even throughout the last couple of years as well. But this year, they've done pretty well with when they've had no Munster out, no Munster on the field. They've had a few others as well. Pappenhausen's been out. They've had a few injuries, but now they're sitting pretty comfortably to win that minor premiership as well. Jason's also saying, I feel the Warriors need a huge off-season. They definitely do need a huge off-season, and it's got to be massive as well. So it'll be interesting to see how they go in terms of who they recruit next. Obviously, we got Fisher Harris. That's the only signing we've made so far. There's some rumours going around about Sean Stevenson, the New Zealand rugby player. It's been rumoured that the Warriors are trying to sign him. So I'm not too sure how true that is, but at the moment that is just a rumour from what I've heard there. But former New Zealand rugby player Sean Stevenson apparently has been rumoured to sign for the Warriors. And Jason's also saying here, Titans have been way too up and down. They definitely have been, Jason. The Titans have been, shown glimpses, and they've been absolutely disappointing as well. So, of course, beating us, and then they found a bit of performances, and look, it's very hard to get a read on the Titans, right? I think the Titans will be a lot better next year. I think there'll be a lot more improvement in them next year, but it'll be interesting to see how they go. Jason's also saying, I feel for the Warriors a matter of 6 against 20 meters. Love to see the stats. Yeah, well, we all know the Warriors don't get the 50-50 calls go their way. And I don't want to moan about officiating, but look, it's pretty much facts, isn't it? Like, the Warriors always get the old call against them throughout the game. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't understand half the time there, but yeah, GT's saying the Tigers should go good next season. Yeah, I think they might go well next year. But even if they don't go well, I think Benji needs to be given that time. For me. But yeah, so those are the results. An interesting round of footy overall. Look, Broncos, of course, getting the bye there. I think, regards to probably two games that were fought with standouts were the Panthers Storm, of course, and the Knights and the Sharks was two very good games. Yeah, I think regards to the season as a whole, if you look at it now, the next couple of weeks, they're quite. What we've got the next week or two are quite crucial now with round 25 coming up. Of course, Manly and the Tigers Thursday night. Of course, with the Seagulls, they want to finish as high up as in the ladder as possible. Of course, our boys taking on the Dogs there. The Dogs themselves will be trying to keep their top four hopes alive. And then, of course, there's the Panthers trying to, finish in the minor premiership spot. They're trying to stay in that minor premiership race. Storm as well, against the Dolphins. Dolphins, we really interesting to see how the Dolphins respond. Down in Melbourne will be a really tricky game as well. So, yeah, just looking at the ladder. So the Storm are top of the ladder at the moment with 17 wins, 4 draws, and 3 byes. And the Panthers sit with 15 wins, 6 losses, and 3 byes. Roosters sit third on 14 points, 14 wins and 7 losses, 34 points. Sharks fourth, 14 wins, 7 losses, 34 points. Then you got the Dogs, 32 points. The Seagulls sixth, 31. Cowboys 30, and the Dragons in 8th spot on the ladder. And of course, you got the Dolphins 9th, Broncos 10th, 9th, 11th, Raiders 12th, Titans 13th, Warriors 14th, unfortunately, and Rabbitohs 15th for the Eels, and the Tigers in 16th and 17th spot on the ladder. So that's the NRL ladder at the moment after round 24. And hello to Ryan. Hello to Ryan in the chat. Hello to Ryan. Hope you're doing well. But yeah, GT saying, I agree. Dolphins backline's deadly. Full pack can't keep up though. Yeah, that's probably a bit of the problem for the Dolphins. I think with their 4-pack, they've got a handy 4-pack. They've got some great, exciting outside backs. With the likes of your Hammers. Of course, you got Farmworth as well. Herbie Farmworth, man, what a player Herbie Farmworth is. I think the Broncos will definitely feel like they've really missed Herbie Farmworth this year. It's been really good for the Dolphins. Of course, man, they've got an exciting side, but I think will be interesting to see how the Dolphins go next year. That's the big thing. But yeah, hello to Luke, Melbourne Storm fan. Hello, Luke. Hope you're doing well in the chat there. But yeah, guys, if you got any questions, feel free to put your questions through. Anything to do with NRL related questions, if you want to ask me anything, Warriors related questions, just feel free to put them into the chat and live chat there. And I'll answer them as honestly as I can. For those of you just tuning in, so I'm just tuning in here that I am just going through the NRL round, giving my overall thoughts, and yeah, just going to also go through some of my predictions of where I think some of the teams will finish now with the back end of the season. So, yeah, Jason's just starting here. I did hear the Storm have a great recruitment. Man once was at the Broncos. Yeah, he was. He was at the Broncos. I think he's the CEO of the Storm there, but yeah, they've got, the Broncos, the Melbourne Storm, sorry, always have good recruitment. They've always, even when they've, recruited some good players, young players there who haven't quite, lived up to it at other clubs, they've gone to the Storm, and the Storm have made them, probably their most improved they've ever been. It's like the likes of Elias Katoa, he's gone and left the Warriors to come to the Storm and done very well. So, some of these players, they've got we've also got Stefano. I think he's coming into the Storm in next year as well. So yeah, there's a lot to say about Storm. Look, I'm not a big Melbourne Storm fan, but you've got to give credit to the Storm for how they go every year. A lot of people write them off. Some people say they're going to fall off the tree. They're going to fall out of the top four. They might even miss the top eight. Some people say, but that's never going to happen, right? And look, like I say, you've got to give credit to the Storm. It's the coaching there. Bellamy, he's one of the greatest coaches of all time, in my opinion. He's well up there with Wayne Bennett. But yeah, it's just Storm. They've got a great system. They've got great coaches. They've got great, they don't have. I don't think Melbourne have the pathways like the other NRL clubs. But whatever they do in terms of getting players in, they always get the best out of them. So, yeah, Ryan is also saying I think Finns have been missing JMK a lot. Yeah, absolutely, they definitely do miss Drew Marshall King a lot. They've had a few issues with the Dolphins with some of their depth, and I think that was the thing I questioned last year as well. But it has been, the thing that I worried about the Dolphins. They've done all pretty well to be in ninth spot at this stage of the season, but yeah, I think they may miss out. I think they may miss out on the finals. And Wayne is going off to South next year, which will be a blow for the Dolphins. Seeing Wayne go, but they've got Christian Wolf coming in, who is done plenty of coaching over the years with Tonga. So it'll be interesting to see how Christian Wolf goes coaching their Dolphins team in 2025. Yeah, it'll be quite intriguing. Into Webby, hello to Into Webby, saying Murata's just playing ball rush, need to move into the middle. I wish we had Curran. Yeah, look, to be honest, I think Murata has been, this year, had a few injuries. He's not had his best season, to be quite frank. And I think, a lot of people were high on likes of Cape Wells. I don't think Cape Wells been a bit of a, I don't think he's been a good signing. To be honest. I know he's had his injuries as well. I know he's been out, but I don't know. It could be proven wrong next year. Could come back to this and be proven wrong next year with Kurt Capewell. He's got a lot of experience. They could be wrong, but I don't know. He just hasn't bought a lot really this season. But I think next year maybe we'll see a bit more from Kurt Capewell. But I hope I'm proven wrong, and I hope he proves me wrong. But yeah, I don't know. I think this year when we look at our signings, we had Kurt Capewell come. We had RTS come back. It's not quite fit into the way we thought we would. At in the off season, we're all excited about the side, the combinations. I think we've also missed Metcalf throughout the whole of 2024 as well. Lukey Metcalf as well. It was great to see him back on the field last week against the Seagulls. It was great to see him playing some footy again. Some people are still questioning him. I don't know why people are questioning him. It's his first game back, and I thought he was quite solid. And RTS, look, he hasn't found a position right this year. He's been on the wing, he's been at fullback, he's been in the centres. So I think if you're picking RTS, you've got to pick him. Like Jason's just saying here, just reading your comment here, saying I'll try to rate RTS back at fullback or centres or wing. RTS is epic at fullback. Yeah, and the thing is though, look, I think Webby's been so high on it throughout the off season, and throughout the whole year that CNK is our fullback. And look, I think CNK this year's probably had his quietest year. He's had some injuries as well, which has not helped him. But if you're going to pick next year, if you look at a team next year, obviously, Roger's done so well at fullback throughout the years in the NRL, and I don't know. Look, RTS, man, I don't think he's a centre. Right? I just don't think he's a centre. I've said it throughout this whole season. If you're going to play him, you're going to have to play him at fullback. I think you're going to have to play him at fullback, or at least play him on the wing. That's where his best position is. Because CNAC is, a very, very solid player, right? CNAC is a very solid player. He does the job very well. it's tricky. It's a tricky question to answer, right? It's a tricky question to answer because I love CNEC. I love Roger. But where do you play both? Right, there's a big question mark going into next year. Where's the big? Where do you play them? I don't want to be Webby in that situation. Um, Jason's saying here, try CNEC at wing or centre. Yeah, well, look, I don't know. The thing is with CNEC is, can you put him on the wing? Will he work that well? We're in that position. I just don't know. As a centre, look, I can see it, but if I was picking my centres, next year, it's got to be Berry, right? Rocco Berry's got to be in that side, and I know some people probably say Ali Leotawa on the side, but I would have to have Rocco Berry in the side. And I think we definitely missed Rocco Berry's kick chase in the side as well. So him in the centres. I think him and I think people, have also forgotten that Pompey is actually been a better centre option as well. I think you've got to have Pompey in the side. He's also done a bit of goal kicking for us this year as well. So Pompey and Berry maybe the centre pairing next year. But who knows what way to go there. I think Berry has to be in the side, in my opinion. GT is saying here, what is your preferred spine for next year? Looking at my spine would probably be I would actually stick with CNEC at fullback. I know some people were saying Roger, but I would stick with CNEC at fullback. Waiting would be my hooker. My sixth would probably be Metcalf, and probably Tamari Martin. I think Tamari Martin halfback. I think Tamari Martin at 7 and Lukey Metcalf at 6. But that would be my spine, GT. That's the way I would go. But look, my opinion could change throughout the off season because it all depends on how the preseason goes, and of course, that probably shows which combination they should go with next year. But that would be my spine next year. Of course, we've got Jet Cleary coming. We've got Luke Hanson in the wings there. And I think Jet Cleary and Luke Hanson, I think, need a bit more time. I don't think you can rush them into the side just yet. And Jet Cleary, he's going to be playing a lot for our pathways in 2025. So, don't forget we've also got Tane as well. We've got Tane Tuapiki as well. And I love Tane Tuapiki. I think, he his he's a great talent, and I don't think I think he's way too good to be in New South Wales Cup. I think he's way too good to be in the Cup side. I think he needs to be somewhere in first grade. But of course, trying to find a spot from in the 17 is quite hard. But yeah, Jason's just saying here we need a speed spell on the wing, the likes of the Broncos, Mariners speed, and the Dragons fullback. Yeah, we definitely do, Jason. I have to agree with you on that one. We don't have the pace of a lot of teams. You look at your Penriths, you got your Taruvas and that. You look at your Dogs with Addo Cars. They've got some very speedy outside backs. We don't have many speedy outside backs, and I think we've got very good, solid outside backs, lots of Dallin there, the likes of Montoya, but, they're not fast wingers, aren't they? They're not fast, they're not quick, they're not off the mark, and a lot of teams have these. So I do agree with you there, Jason. I really do agree with you on that one, Jason, for sure. And yeah, look, we definitely need some. Interweby's saying, guess which team is currently the best team defensive side in the comp? The Bulldogs, yeah, they are. That's why they're doing so well. They're sitting in fifth, and like I said earlier in the stream, like they're a good chance of finishing in the top four. And look, this is just my opinion, but if you look at it, I think the Bulldogs probably deserve to be top four over the Sharks. And I know the Sharks are sitting fourth. I know they got the results, but look, I think the Sharks, to me, are way too overhyped. I think they're overrated. And I think the Sharks' best finish will be week 2 of the finals. I think I'm going to say it there right now and here and now. But that's just what I think. And the Sharks are so up and down, right? You don't know what you're getting with the Sharks. As for the Dogs, I think the Dogs are a lot more consistent than the Sharks are. So I think if you put it, honestly, I think the Dogs probably deserve to be top four more than the Sharks deserve to be top four. That's just my opinion. I just don't rate the Sharks. I just don't rate them at all. In terms of my teams, I think it can give the premiership a shake-up. The Storm, Panthers, and those are my teams. Those are my teams. Storm, Panthers, and Roosters. Those are my top three teams that I think can win the premiership. The Dogs are a dark horse in the background. I think they're a dark horse in the background, but I don't think they'll win the comp. But, also Manly, I think Manly are also a dark horse as well. If you look at Manly, you got Cherry Evans, you got some good forward, you got the likes of your Homole, Olakuatus, you've got Tommy Travojevic. I think if Manly make a run in the finals, they could be a threat as well. So you look out for Manly as one of the underdogs teams in the finals, I think, for me. And also, I think with Manly as well, they've also beaten the likes of, your top sides as well this year. So I think they're definitely a good shout for one of the smoky sides come finals time. The Dogs are playing well as a team. That's right, they are. Their connection, the players are connecting well. There's a great culture there at the Dogs. They're building something, right? They're building something really as a side moving forward. Tommy Turbo needs to stay injury free. Yes, definitely for sure. He definitely does. And of course, Cherry Evans, man, we know what Cherry Evans does. He's such a classy player. Shout out to Cherry Evans as well in the press conference for Manly last week, giving a bit of a special mention to Sean Johnson and his career. So yeah, massive shout out to Cherry Evans there. It's good to see that he honoured Sean Johnson in the press conference. Said some very kind words as well in regards to his NRL career. But yeah, so anyway, so I think I might just wrap this up. So I was just going to be on here for a short period. Just my general feelings towards who I think will finish where on the ladder. So at the moment, we've got Storm top, so I think it will stay the same there. With Storm finishing first, Storm will win the minor premiership, guys. I think they'll finish top. Penrith will finish second. I think Penrith will stay in that top two spot. The Roosters will finish third. I think fourth, I'm going to say the Dogs sneak into fourth. Fifth, I think Manly will finish fifth. Sharks, I think, will finish sixth. And also seventh, I'm going to say Cowboys will just finish there. And then eighth, I'm going to say the Dragons will finish in eighth spot. So that's my order of my top eight. And that's how I think it will go. And at the moment, my grand final probably will have to say, just based on what I've seen this year, I'm going to say the Penrith Panthers will take on the Melbourne Storm. It's a boring prediction. I know it is, but I think what we're seeing right now is that the Storm and the Panthers will meet in the grand final this year. Look, I hope I'm wrong. I would rather see someone else be in the grand final. Rather see, I'd rather see someone different in the final, right? I'd rather see someone other than Melbourne and the Roosters and the Penriths. But I think at the moment you got to say Storm, Penrith grand final. But hopefully I'm wrong. But I think that will be the grand final at the end of the year. And I think my premiers, I think the Penrith Panthers side will do it again. They'll win 4 in a row. They're going to make more history. And look, Nathan Cleary's a big blow, but I think once Nathan Cleary gets back into the side, I think Penrith will time their run pretty well and win that trophy again. But that's how I see it going. And Jason's saying that I should rest Cleary, I feel, for 2 games. Yeah, they probably don't need to rush him back in the finals because, look, if Penrith get that top 2 spot, that will they've got another week, right? They got another week, so it doesn't matter if they lose week 1. But Jason's saying here I'm picking the Storm. Yeah, of course, look, I think the Storm are more than capable of winning the premiership, right? They're more than capable of winning it. But I think Penrith, with the chance of winning 4 in a row. You've got the likes of Fisher Harris leaving, your Jerome Luai's leaving the club at the end of the year. They want to go out on a high before they leave. So I think there's a potential that the Panthers win 4 in a row, and I think they will do it. But that's my prediction. And look, I could be wrong. Come finals time, you never know with the NRL finals around the corner. Stranger things have happened. But you think on favourites tag, it's got to be Penrith right now, even though Storm did beat the Panthers in the last week down there in Penrith. But yeah, GT saying I'm picking the Dolphins, and clearly won it for the Panthers last year. Yeah, he definitely did. The Broncos fans will still be livid for that result. I'm sure they will want that result out of their nightmares, because they had a chance to win that grand final, and of course this year they're in a position where they won't make the finals. So us and the Broncos not making the finals, who would have picked that at the start of the year after the both teams having great years last year in 2023. But hey, that's the NRL, it's rugby league. And look, I say no excuses this season for the Warriors, because we should be really challenging for at least top 8, but we're 14th, right? And that's just really disappointing, gutting to say. But yeah, that wraps it up, guys. Please like the live stream if you haven't done so already. Please give this live stream a like. Click that thumbs up button. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't done so already. Look, apologies for the lack of content over the last couple of weeks. With no videos and live streams. But we'll try and get some content out over the next couple of weeks for you all as well. But thanks for watching, everyone. Up the Wars. Go the Warriors, regardless. Win, lose or draw, of course. Warriors fan through and through. But it's been a really, it's going to be a real interesting next couple of weeks for the NRL finals race. Watching as a neutral, I'm excited watching as a neutral. Now, no stress, no stress of worrying about my team in the finals. So it's a shame to be saying that, but yeah, it is what it is. It's been one of those seasons for the Warriors in 2024. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Like the live stream if you haven't done so already. Please give this live stream a like. Make sure you click that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so, and yeah, Broncos 7 injured players too much. Yeah, look, yeah, they've had injuries as well, the Broncos, Jason. But like I've said, every team's had injuries this year, so the Broncos don't have excuses. They don't have excuses. We don't have excuses to not be in there. So that's the thing. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this next couple of weeks goes, and the finals will be really interesting as well. Can't wait for the finals coming up. But guys, that's it from me. Have a good one, everyone, and I'll see you all in the next one.